Hi, Candace.
Okay, Mary, you're the host.
Thank you, Stacy.
Bye.
Here we are.
Hi. Hi, Candace. I unmuted you.
I did too. Yep.
Okay. And Debbie? Hi, you're still muted. Could I get your last name? Stacy's not going to be with us tonight, and she asked me to take attendance.
Oh, Proctor. I'm sorry.
Proctor? Okay. All right. I like your background, Debbie.
It's my house. Pretty.
Weather's been really nice. Hi, Shirley. Hi, Shirley. Lisa, I'm at. Good evening. All right, good evening, everybody. I have 506, and as you may know, Stacy could not be here tonight. She was here in the beginning, got me set up as the host. And she mentioned, Shirley, you might be leaving a little bit early because you're receiving an award. Congratulations.
You're muted. You're muted.
Actually, it's the Friends of the Maston Public Library that's receiving it, and I'm a member of the Friends. I'm on the executive committee.
Okay, will you be leaving early?
No, because I have a previous commitment to be in class.
Oh, okay. Stacy thought you would.
No,
But-
no, I stick to my commitments. Somebody will
Alright.
let me know what happens. So.
Okay. All right. So it's good to see everybody. So we're to the last module, which covered document properties. checking word count. And I went through the whole section here this afternoon, and we might surprise ourselves in how quickly we do go through it. And of course, I asked you guys to do that assignment 7 there, that document, and hopefully we'll able to show. So let's get going with document properties. If you like, I'm going to start sharing my screen. I'm going to bring up a Word document. I should be unmuted now, right? Okay. All right. So document properties. So we have a white screen here. And under File, this is where you your properties here. First, we have your protection, where you can put a password in to prevent anybody else from touching your document. They'll be able to read it, but they will not be able to do anything with it. And you can also see information about the document here, the author of it. If I was to start typing something, it would show you that I am the author. I got 2 words in there, 1 minute. Inspecting the document, you can inspect the document for hidden properties or personal information. Check the accessibility for content that people with disabilities might find difficult to read, and check compatibility for items that are not supported by a previous version of Word. I'll be honest with you that I normally don't ever use any of these items. Occasionally, my director, he'll do like protect a document where he wants us to be able to view it as employees, but he doesn't want us to make any changes to it. So he may do something like that to it. Also adding a digital signature in this day and age that is becoming very popular for people to use. And along with it, you have managed documents. You can check in, check out, and recover unsaved changes to it. Again, I emphasize the fact that I really have never used many of these. I've never had a need to. You may not. It all really kind of depends on what you're doing with it. And then over here on the right hand side, you can also go to all properties, and it just adds a little bit more to it, who the author is, related people to it. If I had taken a document that I had used and I originated, but somebody else used it after me and made changes, it would tell me who the person was that last modified it and when they modified it, and also when it was last printed. So these are things that you may find helpful to you. It may be things that you will never use in your whole time of using Word. I've used Word since 1995, and I've never had to use document protection or inspecting a document. It's just, what you do. All right.
Mary,
Um,
how do you add a
I'm-
digital signature?
Excuse me, I didn't hear what you said.
Oh, how do you add a digital signature?
Okay, where were we? Check. Okay. You have to, before you can add it, you must save the document in a format that supports digital signatures. And here, I'm going to say yes. Okay. And to sign a Microsoft Office document, you will need a digital D. Would you like to get one from a Microsoft partner now? I would have to go out and say yes to this, and then go through and walk through these instructions here and create one. Now, I've had to do digital signatures for documents that normally, like the bank has sent me some documents that I needed to sign during COVID, and there was a password I had to put in. They sent me the instructions to open the document and then go through, and I literally wrote it with my mouse going across, and it allowed me to accept what the way I wrote it, or it let me try again and rewrite it, in which I did, and said yes to it, and it just put my signature right into the document. It was very easy. And again, it's where you work and what you need it for. And I'm not going to be able to do it here because I know that my computer has restrictions on it for me that I can't kind of go in and download new programs or new things to stuff that I'm working on. Now, going back to the screen that I was on, am I still sharing?
Yes.
I
Yes.
saw. Shirley, you're saying no, and I see some people.
Are you talking about your document or are you talking about the screen with the saving?
The info, you're still seeing a screen from me?
All I'm seeing is your document with your 2 lines. I'm not seeing the other thing.
Ah, okay. That's one of the things about what I did is I went to info under file and I clicked that on, and that's where I was finding what I was reading off to you folks. So when I go over here, let me go back for a moment. Let's see. Right now you see my white document, right?
Mhm.
I'm going up to file, clicking on file, and then looking at the info from the document.
No,
You folks seeing that at all?
no.
So you just heard me talk about it.
No, we saw it before when you were showing us like
Ah,
how to input, inspect, and protect. We did see it, but right now all we're seeing is just your Word document.
okay, all right. Okay, so I'm going to go back to that document, and now I'm going to call up a different one where I would have some wording. Okay, so we saw this last week, some of this. Under review, this is where you get to, on page 89, they talk about word count and line count.
Yep.
Word count is, you click that on and it will tell you how many pages, how many words, how many characters, spaces, paragraphs, and lines. They used to have a grade level for your writing, on what grade you were writing at. They no longer do that. I used to like that. It was one feature that I did like, but they did do away with it. But this tells you, especially if you're working with kids and they have to write essays, and you know how sometimes the instructor says the essay has to be 100 words or 200 words. This is a great feature for kids to use so they can see how many words they're using if they're counting. So that's really good. Another area under review here, actually it's under layout. In the old 2013, it would be under review. Now they've moved this over to layout, is line numbers. Line numbers come in handy if you are sharing a document that people are editing, so that they could say on page 3, line number 10, this is where an error is or what. And to turn that function on, you click on line numbers, go down here to line numbering options, and go to line numbers, add a number line. I'm going to say start at 1 and automatically do it and count by ones. And I have restart at each page. I'm going to choose continuous. So throughout the document, it will tell me how many lines in total I have. I hit OK, then OK here. Notice the numbers that come up to the on the side here, and that will allow you to talk to somebody. I know that if you're having somebody edit your document, they can go down through and say on line 124, you left a comma out, or you have too many commas in there, you know, so that you have a reference point. So that's kind of a nice feature for working with somebody on that. And again, depending on the version of Word you're working on, you will find it either in review or in layout. And then last week, we talked about tracking changes. And tracking changes, again, under review. And here is where you track the changes. I click that on, and so if I were to make any changes, we went through a lot of that last week, so I'm not going to repeat what I said last week about that. But that is, again, a nice feature, especially if somebody else is reading your document and you want them to make instructions to it, corrections to it. And then you can have it where they can, you can accept their changes or reject them. One thing that I liked today was comparing documents. And this I never have done before, but it was really kind of a nice feature that I walked myself through. That this is on page 88. And Lisa, I hope you don't mind, but the document that you sent me the other day, I took that document and saved it on my computer. Then I went in and made some changes so that I could show you guys how this works. And I'm hoping that I can do it where you will get to see what I'm talking about.
Okay,
So
thank you.
I'm going to cancel that out. I have a new Word document up in front of me. And on page 88, and let's see, I should share this with you. Hit share. Okay, and I go to review, and where it says compare documents, you can compare two documents to see the difference between them. So I click that on, and the original document is what Lisa sent me, and I labeled it Lisa's original document. The second document was revisions of Lisa's document. So you can see I put them in there, and I just hit OK. Now, do you see a lot of stuff on the screen?
Nope, it's all blank.
It went blank?
It's a blank document.
All right, I'm going to share again. A new share. Now, do you see it?
Yes.
Okay, and I'm going to have to, you guys are off to my side here, and I'm going to put you down at the bottom. The original document, you can see right here at the right-hand side, it says original document. This is what Lisa sent me. That's the name of it. And down here, right underneath it, is the revised document where I changed some things on it. Right smack in the middle, and you can see my mouse, I move it up here. It's comparing the two documents, and it shows where I made some changes on it. You can see she had the word award. I crossed it out and put achievement. And then down here, that wording. And here, you see this, it crossed out the whole line. I only changed the word experiment to challenge. I didn't touch the other two words, but it crossed out the whole line because she had a text box and it was all together, and put in that new text box. Then on the far left-hand side are the revisions. It says that I did 9 revisions. I deleted something, and I changed the font, deleted award, put achievement. I can scroll right down and it tells me everything that I did.
Good.
And then down here, I did some customing, changing. I changed the background on it, changed the coloring on it. Pretty neat that you can, if you lose track of who's changing what, but you have the original, you could do this and find out what the changes that have been made. So I thought that was a pretty neat thing to be able to do. Do any of you see yourself ever using it?
Depends.
No? Yeah, I mean, Word is powerful and it has a lot of features, and some of the things you'll may never use. Okay, so I'm going to exit out of that again and cancel because I don't want to save it. I have to actually, let's see, exit out of all the documents. Okay, and now we're not, my screen sharing stopped. All right. So that gives you a taste of that. Now, we've already talked about protecting a document and how you can put in the password and some restrictions to it. That, again, is something that you personally, it's up to, whether you want to do it. I've never had the use for that purpose. And then on page 92, there's the an exercise that I'll be able to send Stacy the file, and you can practice it on your own. It goes through saving a copy, revise. The name of the copy is revised policy, and they want you to do some changes, but they're going to ask you to turn tracking on and make these changes and save the file, and then compare the two versions that you have. Another good feature that Word comes into, and this I have used and probably have used yourself too. How many of you use the dictionary in Word?
Nope.
Have you?
Nope. No.
Do you ever use the Thesaurus?
Nope.
No? Okay. I just typed something. The word assignments, I'm going to highlight that. Under review, they have a thesaurus here. And off to I am sharing my screen. And off to the right-hand side, I highlighted assignments, clicked on the, my mind went blank, thesaurus, and it gives you different words that you could use for it. And seeing that, homework, I could, let's see, school, let me, so it gives me different words that I could replace suggested words. This comes in handy when you're writing and you find yourself continuously writing the same word, and you want to liven your writing up a little bit or change words, and you have that mental block there, that your writer's block, and you can't think of a different word to use. This will help you with that. Most of us have this already pre-programmed into our Word. So do you guys want to check to see if you have it in yours version of Word that you have? Do you all have it?
Yes.
Okay. All right. It will also define things for you too. Most of you have already probably used the grammar and the spelling as you go. That let me get back into my you know that if you type something and you spell it incorrectly, some words automatically correct the spelling. That's because Microsoft has put the dictionary in there. There are other words that if you're way off, it can't fix the spelling, and you have to right click it on the word and it'll give you options of what word you are trying to spell. And if you're not a good speller, it'll give you things that, no, that's not what I meant. And you just keep trying until you get the correct one. Or you use a dictionary on that. The other feature too, and how many of you ever have to use a different language? Probably not very often, but it can translate words for you. The word today, I'm going to highlight that and go to review and translation. You can translate your document using an online translation service. If you have a really long document and you need to translate it to Spanish or a different, if you're looking to do your whole document, you really have to do the first item that's up here. If you're just selecting text like that, notice I have this still up. I'm going to exit that out, but the word today, translation, we have English to Spanish, and then they're telling, let's see, no, it's not finding that word. I clicked it on today, on this day, in present time. This is all, it's not finding it in English. What if we do hi? Go back to review. Oh, there it is. Hola, right down here, the bilingual dictionary. On the right-hand side, you'll see translation. And right down here is what I could put in there. If I want, yeah, if you're doing a flyer or something, and you needed to do a Spanish version of it, you could write it, use that to help you do that. If you just wanted to do, say hello to kind of attract the student's interest in it or person's interest in it. So that's a nice feature. You'll also see that when you do this, they have a lot of different language, but you have to have these different languages programmed into your computer. I don't know if it does Arabic. Let's see. Yes. Notice it does give us. I inserted it, filed it, but look what it did. So that tells me that I don't have that dictionary in there. And I would have to go out to the web through Microsoft and get the dictionary. Again, the college puts restrictions on what we can put into the computer, so I can't personally do that. And again, it really is, do you need it or you don't need it? I normally don't use it. In the 20 years again that I've been using it, I have never had the need to do that. Now that we have finished all the modules that are in that booklet that you were sent. Last week we did some of the word art and adding shapes. That was the last section of the book, if you have time. So, how many of you played with the assignment? Did the assignment? And did you enjoy doing it? Yeah. That kind of stuff is the stuff that I personally like in Word, where you can be creative and do some things. So with that, do we have anybody who would like to share with us their document? I will have to make you a host, and then you share your screen. And then explain to us what you did. I'm not seeing anybody's head shake yes.
Okay, I'll do it first, but you got to walk me through this.
Okay, let's see. I have to, I'm going to stop sharing. All right, I have you all here in front of me.
Okay.
Participants, I go to you folks. And this is Debbie, right?
Right. Yep.
And let's see what, I'm going to make you the co-host. Yes. All right. So Debbie, what you need to do is open
Share.
up your, what?
Oh, just share the screen. I have it open.
Yep, hit share the screen.
Okay. Okay. Now, on this document, what I was trying to do was move the text over here more instead of having both pictures on this side. And I couldn't get it, somehow I just couldn't maneuver it. So tell me what key I should have been using.
You probably should have been using the right-hand side of your mouse. This is where you, text wrap is the area that you want to go. If you use the right-hand side of your mouse
Right.
and text, if you click that on, does it give you a choice for wrapping the text?
Yes. Yes.
And
it
that's
did.
where you would play with it
Okay.
and figure out how you wanted to move it. And you could have moved some of the images that you have on the left-hand side
Right.
and put a text box in one area and the picture on the right-hand side, and then have your other image still on the left-hand side with the text on the right-hand side. So you can, you making it a little, right now it's kind of balanced asymmetrical. You
Right.
could have mixed it up a little bit. And the text wrap is going to be this area that you would do that with.
I found it a little confusing because I think I use Publisher more, and I was expecting the same type of movement ability where I felt like the Word restricted me. I was trying to hit that text wrap and it was just not working for me. Was it because I was adding a text box and drawing it out?
That could be, and when you were doing the text wrap, did you highlight the picture or the text?
The text.
All right, you should have been highlighting the picture.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
Okay. And then the text would have went around it.
Right.
Because, okay, well, now that makes sense.
Yeah.
It was a senior moment.
Yeah, and it actually, very nice.
Mhm.
I'm not making any of those. It's just a play.
Oh, I was hoping it was.
You're not going to take our orders?
No. If you notice the phone number, it says eat good, and then I typed it out.
Oh,
Well, eat good.
Very
If I
cute,
didn't
though.
put eat healthy,
Yeah.
then we have no customers. All right.
Okay.
Now,
So
do you
now
have any other questions about what you were doing? No? All right. Do you want to stop sharing? And
okay.
Can I ask a question?
Yep.
Can you make Debbie's Delights follow the shape of the banner?
That's a good question.
That
Good
should be
question.
under word art, doesn't it?
well, how did you create it? Did you put the
I did it as a text box, and now I'm thinking, like Sharon said, I probably should have done it in word art.
yeah?
And then I would have been able to
yeah.
move it up and down to fit in there.
Yeah. So you took the image of the banner from the shapes
Right.
and then put a text box in it
Mhm.
to type out Debbie's Delights.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the word art would have worked. Yeah. Good.
Yeah.
Good call.
Now, is this document in Publisher or Word?
It was Word.
Word.
And then I
Okay.
saved it as a PDF so I could
Okay.
share it. I figured that was easier. That's why it comes up on Adobe Acrobat.
Okay.
Okay, so how do I unshare now?
I think if you go up to the top of your screen, there.
Bingo, just hit the X.
All right. Next. Lisa?
Yeah, you could take mine. I have to, can we use the one that I sent you because I'm on the wrong computer for this?
Yep. Hang on. I got to make you. Oh, I got to undo Sharon. Excuse me, Debbie. It's Debbie. I have to. No. Okay, Lisa, you are now a co-host. So you can share your screen now.
There it is. I chose a template from online and downloaded this from the education department. I was able to change the font of Modern Grandma's Homeschool. I could change the font and color of Certificate of Award. I managed to change the various titles of these things. Mateo, the Super Knight, the only way I could get Mateo to be on one line and everything else to be on another line is to give it spaces. So that, but I couldn't get that to be centered Mateo and the Super Knight by telling it to center. I also could change the titles of the various categories down at the bottom, but I couldn't fill it in with anything. Maybe you have to do that manually by pen, but I couldn't do it here. And this picture was part of the template that I downloaded, and obviously it doesn't apply to the situation that I'm trying to do. When I inserted a picture, it covered up all this stuff. It didn't strap. If I just couldn't eliminate this picture of the two kids and replace it with something else. So that's where I was today or yesterday.
Yeah. And Debbie had, excuse me, sorry, Lisa. Lisa had emailed me this yesterday and we talked a little bit about it. And because it is a template that she downloaded, what happens with templates most of the time that you get off the internet at different websites, you can't make a lot of modifications to that. In my line of work, I've worked with a lot of people who have chosen to use a template from Google or Indeed to do their resumes. And I see them get really frustrated when they want to change things and they can't because of the template. I've always been an encourager of creating your own instead of using a template, because templates tend to put restrictions on you. And that's why she couldn't change the image of the little boy and the little girl down there. Earlier today, I played with this a little bit more, and I was able to put a different border on. Lisa, you had put the red border on.
Yeah, I did that.
I changed it to something else. And you notice where the white is on the page, between the border and the end of the page?
Yeah.
I was able to add color there and send the image that you have that's kind of light blue and then all your text.
Mm-hmm.
Send that to the front, and the page was blue in the back, and so it made a blue trim with a I put an art border on it that kind of looked medieval on that. The one thing I would like to see if you would try to do, you know where Mateo the Super Knight is?
Yeah.
If you put that back to the way you originally had it, what if you did a hard return, hit enter right there where you have your cursor?
Nothing happens.
Nothing happens?
Nothing. I'm clicking it 7 times and it hasn't done anything.
Wow, that's weird. So the only way that you could make that move was using the space bar.
Yes.
Hmm.
This I can move sideways or, well, not so much, but this one doesn't do anything. Originally the font was all capitals, so every single letter on there was a capital. I did figure out how to undo that, and I can't remember how I did it, but I did it so it's a little bit easier to read. But the centering it did not respond to just pressing enter. There must be a freeze or a lock on some of these functions that a template insists on. For example, that one, or the background picture.
Yeah. Yeah, because I played with it today too, and I could not get the background picture to go away.
And if I tried to put a picture on top of it, it was really quite ugly.
I agree, because I tried the same thing too.
Okay.
All right. Well, thank you.
I'll just ignore that then. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing. Okay. Who's up? Who would like? Let's see.
I'll go, but it's
Oops.
not real good
All right.
because I
So,
haven't really completed it.
and who is that?
Shirley?
Shirley? Okay. I'm going to make you co-host. All right. I think though, don't worry about that, Shirley, is that we all learn, we're learning from one another on this.
So I was doing a flyer for our bountiful basket raffle for the Friends. So on the top, I did 2 word arts for the text. I imported our little bookworm, and I imported the open book from out on the web. And then I grouped them all together. And then in the bottom, I did a text box and did the border, and then did it with the information about the basket. Currently, I don't have photos of the basket. Somebody else is putting together the baskets and will take photos. So once I had photos, I would add the photos also on this. But it looks relatively plain. So I didn't put a border around the entire thing, which I could do to snazz it up a little. So.
Well, it looks good though, not as it is right now. And everybody notices that you have the hard returns in there showing.
Mm-hmm.
And you can take that off. I think if you go to home, and that little symbol is up on the ribbon, and you click that on and it'll remove them.
Yeah, they don't bother me. When you print it, it's not going to be there.
Okay.
That way I can sort of see where my returns are as I'm moving my text box.
Okay. I think it looks good.
I was running into difficulty grouping everything on the top together. So it took a while.
It took a while. You have to put your cursor on it, hit the control key when you do that,
And tip it.
Mm-hmm.
and that will highlight them and you can group them that way. It takes getting used to doing it, and the more you do it, the better you'll get at it.
The way I did it was shift, I think it was shift, and clicked on it, and then kept the shift down, clicked on the next so that I had all 4 selected.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Okay.
went over to the group.
Yep.
So you're saying I would do what?
The control key,
Mm-hmm.
if you use that in your mouse, holding the control down, click it,
Mm-hmm.
put your cursor on the object, then hit left click your mouse.
Mm-hmm.
That starts, it highlights them. You get them all highlighted, then you group them. You're doing the same thing, but like we've said, sometimes there's 2 or 3 different ways to do it.
Okay.
You use the shift key. I am used to using the control key for it.
Okay. So now I can move the entire thing up here together.
Yep. And
So
make
if
it.
Moved it down, if I moved it down, it would all come down as one piece now.
Yeah. All right. Thank you.
Can you explain the grouping thing again with shift or control?
Yep. What I'll do is let's see. Intermediate code.
I usually right-click to group things, and sometimes those options are grayed out. So if there's some other way other than a right-click, that would be helpful.
Let's see. I'm going to okay, so I have a different item in front of you.
Yes.
I don't know if this will. All right, so I highlighted this little box right here.
Yep.
I'm doing the right click on it and I go down to grouping and I can ungroup it. Oh, it does not allow me to do that. Okay. Oh, yes it did. Now I got a whole bunch of pixels here. I'm going to insert something else into this. So, all right, I just hit Control and see all those things I got highlighted?
Yep.
And it's not what I want it to do though. All right, it looks like the line is highlighted and notice the picture is also highlighted. It should let me group it, but it's not right now.
That's my problem.
Yeah. Oh, edit points. Okay. So right now what you're seeing, what I've done, I got these edit points clicked on this image. So it's kind of really distorting what I'm doing here. All right, so I just inserted 2 images,
Mm-hmm.
and each time I went to an image, I hit Control and the left side of the cursor. Then I went to the next one and did the same thing. Put my cursor on it, hit Control on the left side. Now it's not. Tell me it's not a bit. Guess it's not.
If it's grayed out, it's grayed out. You can't do it. But I don't
Yeah.
know how to get it back to the grayed out part. I mean, to the ungrayed out part. It should work.
Okay.
What's the difference?
Did it. You can see now these 2 images are
Right.
together. And what I did to do that was I moved one on top of the other one, and on the right hand side, right clicked it, and I put the order. I selected order. I just brought the one, said I wanted the one to the front. After I did that, the images were, it allowed me to group it. And I can ungroup it now.
Can you put the arrow on top if you wanted to?
I would have to ungroup it first.
Right.
Ungroup. And let me right click it. And that's not, doesn't look like it's ungrouped though. For a moment I thought it was. I get that one on group order. Doesn't. All right, there I just brought the
Okay.
arrow to the front. So
But they're not
then,
grouped.
what did you say, Lisa?
But they're not grouped.
They're not grouped. Now, click that on. I gotta regroup. Now they're grouped.
Okay. Huh. Okay.
You gotta play with it and get accustomed to it. I don't use this every day, so you can see how I fumbled through it.
Sure.
You practice.
You know that it's possible. I give up.
Okay. You know, Word has these great features, but it really isn't a graphic design program, unlike where they do make graphic design programs, Publisher, but they even have better graphic design programs out there that people use who specifically, that's what they do for a living. And
Sure.
most graphic design programs, they do them on Macs instead of an IBM product or a Microsoft product. So that's kind of, you know, somewhat interesting. All right, I'm going to stop sharing. And who's up? Candace?
I did it. I have no idea what happened to it. I can't find it. But I'll tell you what my challenge was. I did a Halloween announcement. I did a border. I did beautiful. Trust me, this was brilliant. Except I could not figure out how to easily import Clipart. That was my challenge.
And import from the internet or?
Yeah, or for any, I didn't know where to go to find it. That was, I just have this blank spot. Like you said, senior moment, Debbie. Couldn't figure it out.
Okay.
I'm just gonna have to work on this. I think it's just one of those things I'm gonna have to go and all of a sudden it'll all come together and I'll go
Insert image. Isn't there
insert image. Okay, and then
online?
where do you find the image?
There's the subdivision of insert image online, and then
Online?
it'll give you a whole bunch of choices, and you click
Oh,
on that, and it'll put it
okay.
in.
Well, thank you so much.
Sure.
If
That
you
seems basic, right? I couldn't.
If you Google free clip art and put the theme in that you want, a picture will show up. You right click on the picture, copy, it'll paste, and then you can use paste and put it right into your
Well, see,
document.
now I'm familiar with that. Why didn't I think of that? Thank you.
It was the senior moment, I'm telling you.
Yes, and they go on longer and longer every day.
Pretty much.
Thank you. That's very helpful. Thank you so much.
If you
Yeah.
go to your Word document,
Mhm.
you should be able to pull up under File, Recent Document. You might find it there.
Well, I think I must have accidentally eliminated it because I've been doing all day. I've been like going through my files and cleaning things out, and who knows what I did with it. Who knows?
That happens.
It'll turn up like maybe in 6 months and I'll go, oh, there it is.
In your recycle bin. It should still be in your recycle bin.
Somewhere crazy. It'll be somewhere totally illogical, but there you go. Thank you so much. I should have known all that, and I
You
didn't.
know, I'm going to
Now
throw
I
out
do.
another place that you might have it. Do you have a taskbar across the bottom of your screen?
Now?
Yeah.
No, not really.
Okay. Because sometimes I do, and like I have Microsoft Word down at the bottom.
Oh,
And
okay.
I will leave documents open, minimize them, and they're down at the bottom, and I can't find them. Or I can find them in the directory, but I'm not able to open them because they're already opened.
Mhm.
Oh, yes,
you
I've
know.
done that. Yes.
Yeah. So yes, we all have those
Any
senior
crazy-
moments at times.
Any number of ways I can screw it up, but there you go.
Okay. Sharon?
She disappeared.
Yeah.
Our lights out.
Yeah.
Oops.
Okay. Well, it looks like she's coming back. But it was fun, wasn't it? I mean,
Yeah.
the opportunity to do it, and it shows you what you can do. Hi, Sharon. Are you ready to share? No? I'm going to unmute you. Sharon, can you unmute yourself?
Sharon Lockemeyer.
Yep.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
I'm so sorry. I just turned you on.
Oh,
We've been talking about you all night.
yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Everybody told me all about you. I didn't know.
Oh boy. Oh boy. I'm surprised you let me in the meeting then.
That's all right.
All right.
So we went through the items in Module 6. There wasn't really that many, and people have been sharing their assignment from last week. Did you happen to do it?
Well, I did, and of course I started it and I did it in color, and I thought I printed it out, and I know it's here someplace. But what I did was the first time I did parts of it. I was able to bring a picture from my computer. I don't know where to hold this.
Yeah, we could see it.
And this banner is in like a brownish or an orangish, and then the lettering in there says your invitation. And it was supposed to open up. The other one did, opened up this way. Opened up this way, and then inside, again, I took artwork from the computer. I went up and did that, and that was fantastic. And I've got Gigi's dining room, Thanksgiving Day, noon to 4 o'clock, and it's not an organization. It was an invitation, because on Thanksgiving Day, I have my great-grandchildren come without their parents, and we always have Thanksgiving. So that's what I was trying to do, but I don't know. I get a D in the class.
E for effort.
You're right. And you're here to learn, and that's what it's about. And the only way you will learn really using words
Keep
is using
doing
it, practicing it with it.
And I really enjoyed it. I really played with the different things up there, because a lot of them we didn't cover, and a lot of them it gave me the courage to go up and find out what, you're not going to break it. And the most that happened was I lost all my work and started over again. But thank you.
All right. Well, thank you for sharing. Now, Sharon, the other Sharon C. Did you give it a try?
I'll try.
Okay. You have something to share?
I did a quick poster. It's nothing like Debbie's. I was blown away by hers. All those sweets and everything. I thought, oh, this is bad. We're starting at the top of the class. So it's appropriate that I'm last.
All
I'll
right.
see if I can bring it up. Are you going to share? There we
You're
go.
set to co-host right now, so.
Okay. I don't know why this popped up. All right. Share screen. And select window. Share. Huh. I can't get my thing to come up, Mary.
Your document?
Yeah, I couldn't get my document to come up.
Do you have it opened?
Yep.
Then you go up to move
Wait.
your mouse, and it's coming up across my bottom.
Yeah, all my documents are. Oh, here. There it was.
Do you see share screen?
Yep. Well, not
Click.
now.
You want to click that on,
Okay.
and your documents that are open, all of them that are open will show up.
Okay.
and you got to go highlight.
The one I want, right?
Yep. Click
Can you
that
see?
on.
Can you see it? The garden sale?
Nope.
No?
Nope. You got to click it on and then hit share. Start sharing.
Did that do it?
Nope. Nope.
I don't know what I'm doing.
Ah, that's okay. You can tell us about it then.
All right, well, it was a very simple, excuse me, very simple, typical poster, garden sale with the date, time, what was showing. And I did get some of the images that are in out of the Word thing, like flowers, because you scroll through the top and all kinds of different categories. And I picked nature and picked some nice a couple flowers in pots and a couple like branches to make it interesting. And I had put an arrow on there, and I had changed the font to something big and bold and kind of fancy because it is a garden sale. And I changed the colors because, that does get your attention.
Yeah.
So it's always a lot of fun.
Oh, that's great. All right. So, do you folks have any questions? And yes, Lisa.
When you make a text box, you can select the size of the text that you want to have in there. And I have found best fit as being very valuable. So within a text box, you end up fiddling around. Is it going to be 8? Is it going to be 10? And best fit, it'll do exactly what you want. Is there any other place where you can use best fit?
Best fit, you'll find that when you're making a calendar or something that has rows and columns, you can do auto fit to the size of you have the columns auto fit. In Microsoft Excel, that is what quite often you want to set the columns and rows to auto fit, so that whatever you type in there, it will automatically change the size of the column to fit your longest word.
Okay.
Like if you had a listing of names and you had some people that have 4-letter names and somebody has a 15-letter last name, that auto fit will do that for your columns, and it makes it look nice. You can do that when you're inserting a table into Microsoft Word, is have it auto fit to the text.
If I have that double-headed arrow that you had on before, and I want to put text in there, can I get that to auto fit?
I don't know. Let's see if I still. Mm-hmm. I just. Yeah. So I just went off screen and inserted that double-headed arrow again. Now I couldn't type right into it. I had to put a text box on it, and then you can adjust your text box to have that auto fit. What you could do with an image like that is, especially if you want it to look like it doesn't have a text box. You have that arrow.
Erase the-
You would want to change the fill of the image of the arrow to, let's say you made it blue. You lay your text box on it, and your text box is going to be white.
Right.
You could fill the text box with that same color blue. Put in your text, auto-fit it the way you would like it, and take off the line on your text box so the line does not show up. And then
Okay.
it'll look like it's one image.
Can the text box be shaped to the shape of a double arrow like that? So it's, the middle line would be longer than the other lines?
It depends on, you could adjust it to, what I'm envisioning is that you, let's say, you would want 3 lines within that arrow, and the
Okay.
center line be going from point to point. Is that
Yeah.
what you're kind of, that's what I'm envisioning.
So it would be 3 text boxes that you put into the arrow.
You could do that, and you could group them all together, or it could be one big one, and just through spacing,
Okay.
doing it that way.
Okay.
You know, and there's, now this section of the Word, they don't get into it, but I'm going to share my screen again. And all right. See, I got the wording there. Underneath in font, let's see. They have that, they have that. Cancel. Okay, it says here, increase. Let's color. There is a strike through set as default. Okay. Oh, advanced.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You can change the spacing between the letters
Okay.
and expand them. And the kerning is also a way to make the, the spacing between here is a little bit bigger. And you can even change that even more if you wanted to. Extended, and I have it extended by 1 point. You can increase that a lot.
Okay.
I'm just going to go kind of wild here to kind of show you. See how I got that spacing there?
Yep.
So if you wanted to put a message in the center that was from point to point, and depending on the wording, you can expand the letters in between, and you don't have to sit there and just hit space and put spacing. You can adjust it so it's even between all of them.
Mm-hmm.
That's a more advanced feature that people in graphic design tend to use, those type of things.
Okay, thank you.
Anybody else with anything that this intermediate word, we have the book that guided us through it. It sounds like Sharon, you mentioned that, Sharon Locke, that this gave you the opportunity and it really kind of the courage to go up there and see what else is up there. There's a lot more that we didn't cover in this this design here of the program. Is, this is intermediate level. There is an advanced level of Word. I think all of you probably, the basic would have been too simple. And you probably already know all the basic part of it, opening up a document, typing, centering and aligning things. But Word has a lot in most of the stuff. If you want to do something, Google it. The instructions are out there. It'll guide you through it. Like today when I was going through the module 6, I was wondering to myself, why would I really need to number all the lines? And I Googled, why do you do it? Instead of how. And that's where it pointed out to what I found was it's an editing tool when you're sharing a document and working with somebody else. So Google is a great resource, and there's so much out there. There's YouTube videos. Some guy wanted me to sign up for his Word class online, and it's like, nah, I don't need that. But there's a lot of things that you can find. And the world of computers, it can be fascinating, and it can be boring too, especially if you have to do the same thing over and over again. Stacy and I talked a little bit before class started about, I guess she's going to have another program in January, and is talking about doing Excel. She doesn't like. Okay, Candace, you're going to sign up for that, right?
I was so hoping that they would do Excel, because that's another one like Word where I play with it and I use it, but I have those senior moments, and if I just had a little more instruction, I could get better.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to it.
Okay. In each one of these programs that Microsoft has, Word, Excel, each time Word is like the basic. Excel has more power to it than Access, even more power to it. They can be fun. You can take a budget that looks very plain, like something you would do with Word, and in Excel, turn it into a graphic where you have a pie chart or columns, colorful, things like that. So that, there's a lot out there to learn, to share, and you can use it in many different places. Okay, with that, I want to say that I enjoyed my time with you ladies. It was fun.
Thank you.
And hopefully she's going to ask the college again, and I don't know if I'll be doing it, but maybe I will be. I don't know. And if I am, I hope that I get to see you again.
This is beginners Excel?
I don't know if she's going to do beginners or intermediate. What would you?
I know nothing about Excel.
And Candace,
I use it, but it wouldn't hurt to go back to the beginning and just sort of get step 1, step 2, step 3. So I would probably do either way. I'd probably be lost in intermediate, but I do it. I think starting at the beginning would be good.
all right.
I'm in for the beginning also, Sharon Locke.
Okay, that's good to hear. I'll give her that feedback.
But thank you,
All
Mary. It's been very enlightening. I really appreciate it.
Well,
Wonderful
thank you.
class.
Wonderful.
Yeah,
Thank you.
definitely.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Nice
much.
seeing you all, ladies.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
Hi,
Bye.
thanks.
Thank you again, Mary.
Thanks, Mary. And the handbook is great. It's
Yes, it is.
really a nice
Yep.
extra for the class. So if you do the
Oh, yeah.
Excel, it would be nice to get them ahead, like when we sign up, get them ahead of time so that we have them for the first week.
That
Yeah.
would be good.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I'd be
Okay.
really interested in the Excel. I use it all the time, but it's the formulas and how to get this to work out the way I want it without having to do it manually. You know what I mean?
Well, that's a whole thing. That's a math formula.
Yeah, that's it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Good night.
Mary,
Oh, yep.
I have a question that doesn't relate, and I don't know, when I worked, we created a template for medical information where you can then fill in the blanks.
Hmm.
Is that more in the advanced? Because now with the newer version, I don't recall how to do that. And I've opened up my document to show you sort of what I'm asking.
Okay. Shirley, you're still a co-host. You can share your document.
Let me see. Oh, where'd it go? Okay. So you can see how what we've done is we've got name, and so we can't change those, but then we have a box where you can enter it. So I could put my doctor's name here, Dr. Smith, and all my medical information. I can list my allergies, etc. So if I wanted to create another one, is that really in advanced Word that I would learn that?
And when you say create another one,
If I wanted to create another form that's a fill-in form where the name part here, you can't touch that. But you've got this spot that you can change. All these gray things you can enter information, but you can't go changing the other stuff in these boxes.
and you're asking
If I wanted to create a different, not a medical information, because I know that I can't, when I type it, I'm going to save as, and so then I'd be able to save it as mine. But if I wanted to create another form, not medical information, where there's stuff that remains the same, like name, street, in different things, and then I want to put this spot here where they can type in. So I'm sort of creating a template.
Mhm.
yeah. So you could take your original document that you created, and you save that, you have that, open it up again, edit it, and save it as the new form.
No, I know how to do that. I don't want to create another medical info. If I wanted to create a form to use with the friends so that members would fill out their name, and then
Mhm.
I would have name, address, and those remain the same, and then they just type in their stuff and then save as.
So like if you're doing a class reunion, you want their name, address, phone number, but so you want to electronically send them the document, have them fill it in and send it back to you.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. So how would you do that?
Well, the in thing now, and I say the in thing because in our department, this is what we're doing. Especially electronically, we have to send people register for the classes that we do. We're using FormStack, and you create the document in FormStack, which is
That's not in Word, or is it?
no, it's a whole different program, similar to Word in a sense. It's online. You might be able to get a free version of it, but the FormStack, the student gets the form, and it looks like a form that is printed out, and it's a PDF form. They type their information in there. They would do their name, address, birth date, date of birth, email address, telephone number, day, evening, the class that they're interested in, when their start date would be. It goes through and asks them a whole bunch of questions, and it looks just like a form. They fill it out, they hit submit, it comes back to us, and it's really kind of interesting. I don't know how it works behind the scenes. We get that information and it's in an Excel spreadsheet that we can sort things, like we can take it and sort out the people that are interested in a computer class compared to people that are interested in healthcare programs from the Excel document. But then we can click on their name and print out their individual form that looks just like what they saw on the computer.
And they don't have to have that program on their computer?
Nope.
So you can try it for free. You can get 5 downloads. And if you want to buy it, it's $24 a month.
Okay.
Yeah. And I don't know, I mean, the college is using it for many things now. The faculty members are using it. Our department's using it for what our needs are. They'll send it out to us employees. HR will for different things too. So I don't know what their agreement is. I'd be kind of interested if you get it for a month, and let's say you have a special event coming up. You mentioned like a reunion or something, and you only wanted it for a 3-month period. If you had it for 3 months, do you still have
Access to it.
access to
Yeah.
it, or all the functions of the Excel spreadsheet that you end up with? Are you still able to do what it could when you were buying the subscription to it?
Okay.
There's actually quite a few of those form builders online. So look around.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, there's a lot of them.
And are there some that are free?
I haven't gotten to that point yet. I'm still on Google.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah. Eddie, you might find something that works for you that is online free. And now that you've had this, you kind of feel more comfortable about using the computer and what you do.
Me?
From this class, you do have,
Mm-hmm.
it'll make you think more, or yeah, in Word I did something like this, so maybe this will work in this, whatever you find online, because you'd be surprised how similar a lot of these programs are, that the same activity or function is the same.
I can see where if you created a form and it transfers all that information into Excel, and then you can pull off Excel by a sort and figure out what you need off of that particular database.
Mm-hmm.
I know where I've worked before, we've done a lot of endowments and stuff, and we use software like that. But creating the form where you can fill out the information, I can see where that would be really helpful. But it could be pricey for someone that's just volunteer trying to do something, you know?
Right. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah, right. We want free.
Yeah, I always said that, some of that the fundraising software that
Oh, yeah.
nonprofits use, it's very expensive.
Very expensive.
And when you're a nonprofit, it's like you can't spend money on things like that. But it is most
Invaluable.
of the fundraising, but they're powerful and they can
Oh,
do a
yeah.
lot.
Oh, yeah.
It's
Yeah,
like
Surprised.
from the Excel spreadsheet, you could do envelopes,
Mhm.
labels and things like that. And it would be, depending on what you're doing with it and what you want to do. And a lot of times you want to start at the end result of what you want and think backwards for what,
Right.
what am I going to be doing with the information that I gather? So what would be the best way to gather it?
Mhm.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. All right then. Good night.
Good night, everyone. Thank you.
Night. Thanks. Thank you.
Bye.